Hey, everyone. I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who are brand new to Mental Health Moment, we are here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page, welcome back. Be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe. And again, thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. Today, I am in the state of Oregon, which is on Pacific time, and I live on Eastern time. And one thing I will say before I start today's mental health moment is that jet lag is real. It really is. I don't know what it is, you all, I swear. So, for those of you who are not new to mental health moment, you know that I travel often. I'm here, there, and wherever. And I swear my body knows the difference. If I travel 1 hour behind, I'm good, no problem. If I travel 2 hours behind mountain time zone, still no issues. But once I hit that 3 hour difference, for some reason, I just learned today. And for some reason, I'm like, I am so tired. So right now it's only like a little after 5 p.m. on the Pacific coast. And for me, it feels like midnight because I'm just getting in day one. So it's all good though. It's all good. It is colder than I would like to be outside, but for some reason I thought it was snowing. I think I got the wrong weather report. So I'm very happy actually not to be seeing snow outside. But it is a little bit chillier than Florida. But again, welcome to Mental Health Moment here. We don't just talk about the weather on Mental Health Moment. If you are new to Mental Health Moment, this Mental Health Moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from today. And again, as I mentioned, I am in Oregon, but I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. So, usually we do quick announcements, and then this time for today's mental health, I'm gonna share something that I think is important because we are heading into the end of the year, which is really crazy, by the way. I don't even know how many weeks are left, like a couple, which is pretty insane. I'm like, how did that happen? Right? Does anyone else ever go through that? Like the end of the year, you're like, how did that happen? It feels like we just started a new year. And then here we are, like about to start another new year, which is crazy. Well, Florida's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. Sometimes, unfortunately, my comments come in later. So if I see your comments, I would love to shout you out, but I don't know. The comments just do what the comments want to do sometimes. But Pikesville, Maryland's in the house. Welcome. We got a lot of East Coasters today. Welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So, trying to think what my announcements are today. Very close to being able to share something. Can't share it yet because I'm trying to finalize some details with someone. But when I can, which hopefully maybe the next couple weeks or so, I will share it. I kind of a cool announcement. I think it's cool. It's something I've been working on for a little while. So I'll be sharing that soon. That's the announcement, that there will be an announcement later. But again, let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. For some reason, I don't see these LinkedIn comments. I know you're there, so hi, LinkedIners. But I don't know. The comments, like I said, do what they want to do with technology here. But anyhow, today's mental health moment. So as I was mentioning before, we're rounding out the year here. One of the things that I want to strongly remind you of when it comes to your mindset is that what tends to happen is, for a lot of us, is we get to the end of the year and it's busy and it's hectic. And for those of you who celebrate holidays, it's a lot, right? A lot happening. And if you have the time, some of you might be reflecting on your year. So I'm going to share with you what not to do at the end of the year, because it's very tempting to do this. What you could do at the end of the year is say, oh my God, this didn't get done. This particular goal didn't get achieved. This loss happened, fill in the blank. You could really sit and look at all the negative things that happened this year And then you could say, what a terrible year. This is so horrible. All those sorts of things, right? And I don't want to minimize the fact that there's just things that happen to us that are difficult, that are hard. I definitely wouldn't say 2025 was an easy year for me at all. But nonetheless, however, though, I want to remind you all, regardless of how we want to categorize our year, I really want to remind you to, I know this is hard, but to also think about the lessons that you have learned through whatever it is that you were resilient enough to get through this year. Because well, mindset is king, right? Mindset is important. Good evening from Boston. Welcome back. Homestead Floors in the house. Welcome, welcome. Cape Cod's in the house. Welcome. I swear we got like everyone on the East Coast today, and I'm on the West Coast. Go figure. But nonetheless, because we can really, it's easy for us to get caught up, like I said, in all the negative things. Negative things tend to stay in our mind. There's plenty of research studies or whatnot versus the blessings that we had, the things that we tend to neglect, whatever that may be for you, the things that did go right in your year, hopefully not out of a whole year, the 365 days was horrendous. It can feel like that though. But did you remember to be grateful on the days when you woke up? Did you remember to be grateful if you had access to food and water? Like sometimes there's just, not sometimes, but a lot of times um, we are sort of like we forget how much we have to be grateful for. So I share this with you because again, as you head into the end of this year, and for those of you who tend to, kind of take a step back and look back and ask yourself, how was this year? Some of you are already rushing into the new year, by the way. I know it. Some of you are like, get this year over with. I'm ready for the new year, right? And and there's nothing wrong with being ready for the new year, but also mentally, how can you think about closing out this year for you as that close comes, right? And what I mean by that again is thinking about the lessons you've learned. And even if you had a difficult year, like not every year is going to be your year, right? There's going to be years that are harder, there's going to be years that are easier, all the things in different areas of our life. But what did you learn from it? How can you move forward? How are you choosing to grow as a person from that experience? If you, Shreveport, Louisiana's in the house, welcome, welcome. If you had there's so many things that we go through, right? But if you had whatever it is, fill in the blank, something that happened this year, or a couple of things that happened this year where you're like, Dr. Hammond, it was so difficult. Like I didn't think emotionally and mentally I could handle it. That happens sometimes, right? Then please reach out to a mental health professional. Please reach out to your family members, to your friends, to people around you who can support you, right, through that. And then there's some of you who just were extremely resilient and did this on your own. You don't have to, but I know some of you went through this year on your own. Some of you had the support of others, whatever that looked like. It's just important again to really think about. I promise you, I was reading something the other day. I promise you, your self-talk is so important. I was reading something the other day. Oh, I should have screenshotted and saved it to share with you all. But it was really talking about, which is what I've been talking about for years here on Mental Health Moment, but how our bodies even listen to the things that we tell ourselves and our brain. And they did this study um, where they had people telling themselves things like, I am healing, I don't remember the affirmations, but things like I am healing, I am healthy, like all those sorts of things, like telling themselves these things. They did this study and they showed that these people were actually improving. So not just on the mental health side, but also even physically, the things that you're telling yourself. If you're like, oh my God, this is the worst year ever. Oh my God, I don't think I can get through. It's too much, like all those sorts of things. And I don't want to minimize. There's just really difficult, hard things that happen to us. There's traumatic things that happen to us. There's losses that happen to us. Like it's a lot. Like there's a lot happening in the world, right? So it can be a lot, but also those things that you're telling yourself, how you decide to think about your year and going into the next year is abundant is important for abundance, right? So and abundance comes in many different forms. So whether you're like, you know what, I think most people would agree we want to be abundant, right? But we want to be abundant in our mindset. Maybe we want to be abundant in our relationships. Maybe we want to be abundant in our finances, like there's in our health. Like there's so many areas of abundance, but in order to get into that mindset for the new year, we have to think about how we're closing out this year, right? And again, I will I will write about it in a couple years from now in my in my book that I'll be coming out with in 2027. I read all about this past year. But the point is that also, and I'm trying to practice what I preach to you all here, that I had to make a decision too to say, you know what, as difficult as some things were, that it is what it is. Like, what did I learn from that? How did I grow as a person? Right? How did I get through? Thank the Lord. Right? Like those types of things, like reminding yourself how strong you are, reminding yourself how resilient you are, reminding yourself that you can get through. And if you're to the point where you're like, I'm so burnt out, overwhelmed, stressed out. I remember but anyways, I was at a speaking engagement the other day and a lady was literally just breaking down. Like she was like, I'm so burnt out. I'm so overwhelmed. She was crying, like and it's a lot. Like I get it, right? It's a lot sometimes. So if you are at that point, again, then please be reaching out to people who can support you through. But know that it takes time. But know that you can be resilient. Know that you can get through by yourself or with the help of other people. And either way is okay, right? It's what works best for you. Um, Someone said they're here from Minnesota. Welcome. Ooh, another cold state. Whenever I see Minnesota, I don't remember the last time I was there, but it was very cold, very cold. There were no leaves on the trees. Like it's pretty cold. But anyways, Powder Springs, Georgia's in the house. Welcome. Georgia Grown is here with like 5 exclamation points. Welcome, welcome. Spartan, South Carolina is here. Welcome, Jonesboro, Georgia. Let me get it right. Um, yeah, someone said, I don't have time to be sick. I have chores to do. Animals of mine need to be taken care of. You know what? Fayetteville, North Carolina is in the house too. And you know what? That's the thing. Some things that we go through mentally and emotionally, some, not all, but some things are a mindset shift that we have to have. Um, and sometimes it just takes time though. It takes time. That's why I strongly encourage you to be in the practice, right? Of number one, being aware of what it is that you're telling yourself, right? And that takes time, right? You don't There's a lot of things that we tell ourselves that first of all are not even true, but we tell ourselves those things unknowingly sometimes until you really start to like you really start to almost like take a tally of the things you're telling yourself. And then when you take a step back, you're like, wait a minute, why would I be saying that? Right? Like it might be really negative or might be really negative about your situation. It might be negative about yourself. Like all sorts of things. There's plenty of studies too about compassion towards ourselves, about like kindness towards ourselves too, not just to others. You should be kind to others, but also to yourself. Right. And that goes along right what we're talking about today for those of you who are starting to join here about how are you like be intentional about how you're ending this year, which is literally coming up in a couple weeks, which is crazy. But be intentional about the things that you are telling yourself as you move into this new year, right? Like, I know it's hard, y'all. I've been doing a gratitude practice for, I don't even know how many years it's been. I don't know, 3, 4, I don't know, a lot. Where like the first thing when I wake up, like I'm in a space of gratitude, even if I'm having the worst week, the worst month, the worst dark time, whatever it is, I'm like, nope, what is it that I'm grateful for today? Right? Because you are training your brain to also understand there's always something you have to be grateful for. So again, as you head into the end of this year, I know what tends to happen because we tend to reflect on our year. I've seen it. Oh my gosh. I don't know why you all, by the way, as an aside, I don't know if it's a psychologist in me, but I tend to read a lot of comments on social media. I'm always just curious of how people think, I guess. And anyways, it's a lot out there. As you all know, I'm sure you guys read the comments too. But but I always see that whole like, oh, throw away this year. It was a horrible year, worst year of my life. It's not that it's not hard, but we have to also we have to also understand like there were things in our year two that were blessings. There were things that were good also. And if you have to listen, if you have to write it down, that might be your next year project for some of you, and that's okay. If you feel like you need practice, because for some of us we're we're so caught up in a negative mindset loop, to one of the ways to get out of it is you can think about a gratitude journal, for example, where you don't, well, you can write as many things as you want. If you want to spend the time to write 100 things, great, but you can literally start with one, like one or two things a day. If you need to write it down, if you need to put it in your phone, if whatever, however you need to see it, and you'd be so surprised, and make it different things each day, not like the same thing every single day, because there's a lot for us to be grateful for. And you'd be so surprised over months and months when you look back, especially on the harder and darker days. You're like, wait a minute. I, right? Like you see this whole list, like, wait, I have so much to be grateful for. Right. And again, I'm not saying this magically makes our problems go away. I wish it doesn't. Um, but it does train your brain to understand you can get through, that you have things to be grateful for, that you can be resilient. Like that is a, what do they say, the mind is a muscle, right? Like we have to train our brains to be resilient. One of the ways is through gratitude, and our self-talk, and how we view things like the end of the year, right? Instead of what we call in the mental health field catastrophizing, which means we just, make a mountain out of a molehill type of thing, or the things that were hard, we don't give ourselves credit for getting through those things. That might be a reframe for you too for the end of the year. Maybe you did have like really hard year, but maybe you needed to give yourself more credit for getting through, because year's almost over, y'all. And then we got to talk about the beginning of next year. We got to talk about what we're gonna do, right? Because that's a whole nother thing. It's like new energy, which I actually love, by the way. I love, like, I don't know about you all, but like the beginning of the year is such an exciting time for most of us. We're like new year, new things, and everybody has all their goals and all of the things. So we'll talk about that when we get to that part. But right now we're trying to close out this year, right? But again, please be intentional about the things you're saying to yourself. Please be intentional about how you view whatever transpired during this year. I'm not saying to have, roses like everything was great. No, there's hard things that happen, but again, how do you like tell yourself a different story, if you will? Because that's the thing. That's actually one of the secrets of mental health, is the story that you are telling yourself. We all are telling ourselves a story. A lot of it not true, a lot of it distorted. But when you recognize the things that you're telling yourself, and it's funny because sometimes other people around us will tell us something, but we're still telling ourselves things that are not true and very negative about ourselves. But it's a process. But when you work on that, right? Work on being intentional. Your words are extremely powerful, and understand that and make that a high priority for yourself. Then hopefully things will start to change, right? Um, Someone said, oh, let me read the comments here. Oh, now the comments are coming in. See, the comments do what they want to do, you all. Technology just, I never know. It's like a surprise every week. And I'm on a hotel Wi-Fi, so I never know what I'm getting here. Pennsylvania's in the house. Big D. Okay, I have no idea. Delaware. I don't know. Detroit. I don't know what that means. I don't know where that is, but cool. Glad you're here. Gastonia, North Carolina's in the house. Welcome. I don't know if I've heard of that city, but that's pretty cool. Welcome, welcome. Someone say yes, others need my help. Just need more energy. All good. And that's, well, we'll talk about that when we get into the new year about our energy levels, because that is a real thing. India's in the house. Welcome. A gratitude journal, yes. And the thing is, someone said good idea. The thing is, there's so many gratitude journals out there. So you can grab something on Amazon or wherever, whatever bookstore, if you like to physically write. But even, you don't even, if you want to do that, you can do that too. But you can even, most of us use our cell phones on a daily basis. So even in your cell phone, like jotting something down really quick in like the notes, just quick thing. Like we're not, you don't have to spend the time. Most of us don't have time to write full on essays here. But just a quick note, like what were you grateful for today? Probably, I know this sounds so horrible. Probably one of the things I'm grateful for right now is that it's not snowing here. I don't know what weather report. So for those of you who tuned in late, I'm in Oregon today, and I don't know what weather. Don't laugh me off. For those of you who do not know, I reside in Florida. I've lived in Florida majority of my life. So I don't love the snow, nor am I used to snow. So you all, I seriously packed. I'm digressing a little bit, but I seriously packed the biggest, like longest coat that I own to my name, which I don't think I've ever worn it in Florida, but I have it. So I packed that. I packed scarves. I packed like these big, huge snow gloves. I packed long johns. Like I packed all this stuff because I don't love to be cold at all. And somehow, some way, I read, I don't know what weather report I was reading, but it was saying that it was going to be snowing. And I get here, and right now it's like 50 degrees. So obviously, it's not snowing in 50-degree weather. So that is what I'm grateful for today. That is not snowing. When you live in Florida the majority of your life, it's a thing. Like I'm used to my sunshine, my warm weather. So yeah, I am. That is what I am grateful for today. But no, I really do. I do my gratitude practice every single morning. I have like tons of things to be grateful for. So that's the first thing that I do in the morning. But anyway, someone said for bright look for bright sides, try. Yes. Yes. And like I said, look for the bright side of things, but also because again, I chuckle because I'm like, there was a anyways, there's a lot, like I said, I won't share it here, but I'll share it in a future book. There was just a lot, and I get it. Like sometimes we're in excuse me, sometimes we're in just dark seasons. So it's hard to be like, look at the positive when you're like, oh my God, I feel like my life is falling apart. Like that's a hard thing to do. So we're all in different seasons, but if you are in that season, again, think about how do you remember that you have been resilient enough to get through that, right? Like giving yourself credit to be like, hey, I got through this. And giving yourself credit because there's probably something else more difficult in your life that you literally got through. So, like, give yourself credit for that. I remember I'll never forget, I had this business coach that was like, remember who you are. And I was like, yeah, like, you're such a great coach. But anyhow, but so I'm sharing that with you, like, just remembering who you are is going to be really important to get through. Yep. Someone says sometimes things are on your mind and you try to distract it by doing something positive. One thing that helps us, one thing that helps us listening to you. Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. And first of all, I'm gonna take a quick pause. I'm gonna take a moment to just say for those of you, because I know some of you are here like every week for years. So kudos to you, not for being here for me, but being here for you, right? This is literally all about, if you're just now tuning in, it's all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. Um, and yes, it is important to be doing positive things in your life. Little things, Joel. Some things we say to ourselves is not even true. I like that comment you made. It's so true. You all, I could say it 400 times. I know I've said it like probably 400 times throughout the years of mental health moment. Just because you think something does not make it true. That's like one of the biggest human errors that we make, many of us. So don't feel bad if that happens to you. But like, because we live in our own thoughts and we think, well, I thought it, and you just automatically assume it's true. And it's like, no, we lie to ourselves all the time. Like we distort. Think about when you get angry or you get very sad or maybe even extremely happy. We tend to distort reality sometimes. Like things happen right in front of us. You're like, whoa, oh man, right? Like maybe I overreacted. Maybe I took this out of context because you're highly emotional about it. That's the same thing your thoughts do. Like you're in your thoughts, like telling yourself all sorts of things that are not true sometimes about you, right? Which is why it's important to have positive people around you. It's important to work on your own self-talk. It's important to work on your self-care, all the things. But we're here. We're here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Arizona's in the house. Welcome. Oh, someone said I like your energy. Thank you. You like my energy. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm just chuckling because anyways, I get a little animated sometimes. It's okay. My animals to care, my animals to care for, and a good home for them. I'm grateful for those things. I love that. That's so beautiful. Um, I'm sitting here smiling. It's funny. We have our health. Yes. And for someone said we have our health question mark. And that's the thing. I mean, there's just so much. If you okay, let me take a step back. Well, as I wrap up today's mental health moment, I really am going to wrap up today, you all. But I just like your comments today. So if you, it's interesting with gratitude. I know this is today's about heading into the end of the year, but I'm going to talk a little bit about gratitude too. If you think about gratitude and like we tend to, if you say like, what are you grateful for? More than likely, it falls into a couple categories. You might be like, someone said in the comment, my health, or my friends, my family, and I don't know, one or two other things. It's like top five things. Like it's a very common response, which there's nothing wrong with that. But also, if you think about gratitude in like I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like I call it mini gratitude, meaning little things that you're like, man, this small thing happened to me today. And I'm so grateful for it, especially when you're going through a hard time. I promise you, depression, anxiety, trauma, your brain starts to lie to you about things. Your brain, like you just don't see things clearly because that's what happens when we are overwhelmed. So if you say, God, I don't have anything to be grateful for, my life is falling apart. If you can train your brain to think of the smallest thing, right, to be grateful for, it's very easy to find things to be grateful for, other than the normal, right? Other than the like, yes, my friends, my family, my health, maybe it's your faith or something else, like top five things. But there's little things throughout your day. If you're like today, by the way, okay, I'm gonna share something else with you. Today on the plane ride here to Oregon, I don't even know what state we're in, but we're in some state, and I saw snow-capped mountains, which to me are gorgeous, right? Like it's a small thing. I'm looking out of the window in a plane, but to me, like I was so happy. I know it sounds cheesy, but I was so happy for like the 5-10 minutes that we were, riding through that area, right? It cost me no money. It was free, but it's just finding the little moments out of your day to find the gratitude, right? To find the happiness, little things. I do not love the snow, as I said. If you didn't hear, this is probably my 10th time saying on this live today. I do not love snow, nor do I want to be living in snow. God bless you all that live in snow, because I'm a Florida girl. But I do love mountains because we don't have that in Florida, obviously. So like I'm like, ooh, it's so pretty. Like so, I'm in the plane and looking at these snow-covered mountain, like gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous views. So I'm sitting there, and if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always putting in my stories something or another, like a sunset, a sunrise, the oceans, mountains, like whatever it is in my travels. So that's just one example. It doesn't mean you have to be into nature, but it's just one example of just like finding the little things. They actually call it glimmer now. I saw on Instagram. I don't know if that's a real term, but they call it glimmers, meaning just the little many things that you can find in your day to be like, oh, you know what? I'm grateful for that experience. Like just hold on, cling to that as much as you can. And again, not saying we're curing anything here, but it just really helps to have that little bit of spark, especially if you're going through something right now. Um, Oh, someone said there is a legless man in my building, and every morning I see him and I say, "Oh, you have such a beautiful smile," and he does have a beautiful smile. That's so beautiful. That is so, oh my gosh. Y'all, I'm trying to wrap up at the moment, but your comments are too good. For those of you just tuning in, for those of you who are used to mental health moment, we usually go around 20 minutes or so, but I'm really loving you all's comments, so I'm gonna go a little over today. But I love that you said that because I think it was last week when when we were talking about like just the kindness that we display to others, and you just never know how far. Like to you, it may seem simple that you're telling someone like, "Oh, you have a beautiful smile," but like to that person receiving, that literally could be something that's keeping them alive. I hate to say it like that, but it's the truth. That could be something that's just made their entire year. That could be something that no one has ever told them, or no one has told them in a long time. Like these little things, you all, these little like the smallest compliments that you can give to someone, the smallest act of kindness, they really go a long way. So thank you for doing that. That's all I want to say. Someone said they're grateful for having a home in my woods. I love it. Someone said, yay, something cool to look at. Thankful. Yes. anything, and it doesn't have to be, I mean, anything you want. You know what I mean? And for those of you who, or if you haven't already, you can follow me on Instagram, Dr. Nikisha Hammond. But on my Instagram, on the, I think it's called highlights or something, like when you look at the main profile, I have on there, it's called hashtag take a minute, because this is something I've been preaching for a long time. Like, just take a minute out of your day. And so I literally, and it's something I practice and preach myself, um, or preach and practice myself. But so I literally have places, like just places all over in my travels where I have literally taken the 60 seconds, like I said, and just taken a picture. So again, it could be oceans, it could be mountains, it could be sunsets, it could be sunrises, it could be a park, like wherever, whatever you have around you, right? Because we all have different things. Obviously, I'm in Florida, so I have beaches. You may not be around beaches, but you're around something, right? So what is it for you that can bring you some joy? What is it for you that you can say, okay, I'm just gonna just hold on to this little glimmer. Um, Someone said it kept crashing. I hope you don't mean the internet. That would be bad. Someone said snow is beautiful on top of a mountain, not in Florida. Yeah, not in Florida. Yes, never. That would be wow. That would be a thing if I saw that in Florida. That would be actually. Although, was it last year or the year before? It was snowing. Anyways, there was like a snowstorm in like northern Florida. It was weird and not typical. But nonetheless, no, we don't have any snow-capped mountains in Florida. Not yet. Someone said your glimmer, I call it bright sides. I love it. And you know what? That's just, by the way, that glimmer that I said was some term. I don't know who came up with it. So shout outs to whoever came up with that term. But I saw it somewhere in Instagram because I follow all sorts of just motivational and inspirational places or accounts because I want to stay uplifted, like I teach you all. I do the same. So yeah. So I literally just saw the term somewhere that someone's like, "Hey, there's this new term." I'm like, "Okay, that works." But yeah, whatever you want to call it, it's just. But you all know what I mean. It's finding those little things in your day, little things like we neglect that. We think everything has to be big and grand. I promise you, it doesn't. In the world of mental health, so the little things, little tiny things count too. Okay, so I'm way over time. So, but thank you for sharing. You all's comments just made me think of more things to share with you all. Oh, if you all miss, if you ever miss any mental health moments, you can always go to Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube page and catch all the replays. Um, we try, I don't know, we try to get those replays on there as soon as we can. So, and there's also, I mean, obviously titles and things like that. If you like, you know what, I need a particular topic just to sort of check in, get some quick tips. Be sure to watch, be sure to subscribe, I should say, watch the videos and like and share them as well. So, trying to think. Yeah, I already shared my announcement in the beginning, which was basically I'll make another announcement when I can. But nonetheless, okay. So have an amazing week. That's crazy. Next week, for those of you who celebrate, is Thanksgiving. Just really, really insane. The end of the year just flies by, I feel like. But nonetheless, I'll be back next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, all right, here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Be blessed. Have an amazing week. Work on your self-talk this week, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.